Good clap. Sync that audio for me and Dan's podcast, Ryan and Dan's Journey into the Unknown.
Sweet.
All right, here we go.
I'm Shelly.
What is poppin'? Ooh, voice everyone.
That was pretty.
Welcome to the newest, and this is going to be the best episode ever of Moral Dilemma. My name is Raimundo.
I'm Dan.
Jeff?
And I'm Logan.
And
what a stranger.
Yeah. Man, I really want to say we're Moral Dilemma again, but I know that that's not supposed to happen anymore. That was cut out of the...
Eric would be very disappointed.
Yeah. Which, speaking of Eric, he's not here. In his place, we have a special guest, Logan.
Oh, yeah.
Special guest, Logan.
Hi, I'm back, whether you like it or not.
I'm actually curious, though. Adam, do you know how many episodes Logan's been on?
No, we'll have to go back and count that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's probably close, especially Dan. I think Dan and Logan might be tied.
Well, I'm up to date on the ones you guys have done since I've been gone, and I really do think that Dan has been on at least just as much as I have. At least.
He's just always ready to go.
Yeah, well, I live pretty close, so I think I got that.
And
going
you have
for
all
me.
this knowledge. You have to share.
We really needed to fill a seat one night, so we just knocked on the neighbor's house, and he came out and said,
That's how we met Dan.
Yeah. Thanks for the gift coupons.
We actually found Dan. We were soul winning as a podcast group, and we found him. So that was impressive.
Yeah. Thanks.
This is Dan's Make-A-Wish Foundation thing.
wow. But
How much time do I have left?
He keeps coming back.
Because generally there's a short amount of time, so I'm hoping I got...
Yeah, you're running out.
Shoot.
Anyway, we also have our boy Jeff. I love having Jeff on here.
I'm glad to be here again.
I can tell.
I always have a good time here.
There's a certain vibe you're giving off right now.
I can
not
feel
sure how to explain it. Can you feel it?
Je ne sais
It's
quoi,
hot.
possibly?
Yeah, whatever that is.
Means I don't know.
Yeah. Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it is. I don't know what it is, but
All I know in French is what Dan taught me. Je suis la femme de la rue.
Right.
what is that? Just sweet. I am
La femme de la rue.
the girl of the night, the woman of the
Lady
night.
of the street.
That's all the French I know. So I'm good to go if I ever go over to French.
Yeah, that's all he needed.
Yeah.
I know one thing in Spanish, and it's "Donde está la leche?"
That's what I was going to say.
And what does that mean?
Where's the milk?
Where's the milk? Yeah.
So,
Donde está la leche?
if you're ever in Spain, you got your milk.
Dude, I'm
your
lactose intolerant, so if I'm in Spain, I'm going to die from that, and it's going to be bad.
Is it agua in Spanish?
That's water.
Water.
Yeah, that's what. That's
Agua.
fine.
Agua.
Okay.
Yeah, but as you can see, we don't have Eric with us. He's taking a little
Sabbatical.
sabbatical.
Sojourn.
He's really going to think through his topics, and he's going to come back stronger than ever.
His life
But he'll
choices.
be
He
back
probably
in
won't be
2
back.
weeks. I think that was his way of nicely quitting. He was like, you know what? I can tell that. I've also noticed this. I think Dan and Jeff are low key trying to steal the podcast. I think they've finally wormed their way in, and I think it's theirs now.
Yeah.
I haven't done the worm in a while.
Well, let's see. Everyone listening, Jeff is
define
doing the
which
worm right
worm.
now. Glad you're not looking at it.
Yeah.
the bottom of the key.
Whoa!
No, whoa.
Liquor reference.
All Tim Hawkins.
All right, but we got a fun episode. We're gonna try to make this Christmassy themed because our last episode was Christmassy, right?
Yeah.
So I think every episode that came out in
Christmas
December is
movies.
gonna be Christmassy.
I wasn't here, so I wouldn't.
But we haven't done a Christmas special yet.
True, and we're
that's
gonna
in the
do that
works.
eventually. So on Christmas Day, right, Adam? We're gonna release a Christmas episode.
A special, yeah.
So
Like we did for Halloween.
Be on the lookout for that. It's gonna be popping. We're gonna make nutcrackers. And we're gonna
He did react.
we try to keep that serious.
I just really...
I'm really glad you didn't say what you were about to say.
I'm not quite sure, if the audience is here or here.
Yeah.
So some things that just instantly come to my brain, I don't know
Yeah.
if I should say them or not.
Well,
I was just thinking about previous
conversation.
conversation before
Yeah.
we started recording.
Because I was thinking swimming board, high dive, and then I was... Yeah, so
went through a lot.
yeah, I didn't want to take it there. So.
Yeah,
let's not go there.
nutcrackers.
Yeah.
So take that as you want. But kicking us off, this was actually a Dan recommendation. I'm glad he did because it made me think about something that I've always kind of wanted to talk about, but I never had the opportunity to. But it's our worst or our least favorite Christmas song, like one that comes on and is just stupid annoying to us.
Yeah.
Dan, I want you to go first.
Apparently, you've got something.
I want you to kick us off because I can tell you're a little triggered.
I'm a little upset. Listen, I'm a little upset about. So I'm not going to bash any Christmas song that talks about Jesus and the birth of
absolutely.
Christ.
That would be bad. That would be bad.
Because even though there are some of those that are kind of
Silent
certain
Night,
versions, certain versions of that stuff, whatever. But I have three. I'm just going to throw them out there.
I kind of hope you say the one that I'm thinking of because I want.
So first one has to be Last Christmas.
Oh, no.
By Wham.
Come on.
Taylor Swift. I don't care who sings.
I never thought.
Come on,
Never
man.
thought my life I'd hear you say
Listen.
that.
I don't need George Michaels. I don't need to know anything from a Brit. Right? I got everything.
Wow, you just.
I got everything from them in 1776. Don't think all the American Revolution. So we're done. I'm done with
I don't need
that.
nothing from a Brit.
Wait, does Michael Bublé count?
Is he? No, Logan.
No.
George Michaels.
I'm saying, is Michael Bublé?
Michael Bublé might be the whitest person ever.
Are you insinuating everybody with the name Michael was British?
Yes.
Michael Jordan, Michael B. Jordan. He must play basketball too. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, I can tell you hate these songs. They're really
Listen.
getting you amped.
I have a parody of Last Christmas, and even when I sing it, I get mad at myself because I sing
Is that
Last
Okay,
Christmas, I gave you my fart. The very next day, the smell went away. This year, to save you from fear,
I don't hate that
I'm
one.
farting on someone special,
But
and I hate it.
I kind of understand why
Mariah
you hate
Carey.
it.
Mariah Carey sang
no,
that?
I don't.
So many, I
It
think.
doesn't matter.
So wait, Taylor Swift did a cover of it?
She did.
I don't know.
Oh.
She did.
Well,
And
sounds like you.
I'm a fan of her, not her music. No, I'm just joking. I don't care about any of that.
I don't know how that's possible.
But so obviously, apparently, some of you guys like that song. But every year,
Okay.
I hope it's the last Christmas I hear that song. But apparently, I'm gonna make a wish, so it could be the last Christmas that I hear that song.
Not my favorite song, but I got to say I laugh and I kind of get a little bit of joy in my heart when I hear that song, just because when I was a youth pastor at the Nazarene Church, I had a teen named Tyler, and I think you'd met Tyler before.
Yeah, he's an officer.
Yeah, he's a
I know
sheriff's
Tyler.
deputy down in Parkersburg.
You're my favorite deputy.
Anyway, he'd hear that song, he'd always sing it, and he'd sing it to me.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
cute.
dear to my heart.
Okay,
That's
so
cute.
So Tyler's a character.
Yeah.
I hear that or Gold Digger, either one. Kind of brings joy to my heart.
Kanye West Gold Digger?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'll just randomly send him lyrics from that and hit me back with that. So,
Nice.
But that's the only reason I like that
So
song.
wait, why do you hate that so much? Because it's by a
just
Brit?
annoying. Yeah, and I apologize to all our British
All our British
people out
viewers.
there.
We got a big.
Hey,
we got a
Ryan's
big
not doing the racial slurs this time.
So
I'm off the
You
hook.
just offended all of our audience. We're huge in like Britain.
That's right.
well, they had their time, So
Dance time now. All right, what's your next one?
So the next one is almost as bad. I know there's going to be a theme here, but it's Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney, Wings.
Oh, really?
It's so stupid.
Simply having
a wonderful Christmas.
time.
Oh, the music is so. It's like they recorded
is
it.
ticked right
It's
now.
like they recorded it in a bathtub. Like it just sounds. This is. Oh my gosh! And I know, and it's another British guy.
That's
I know
another Brit.
everyone's- I don't have anything wrong against them. And so, I don't know. That song's so stupid. I'm sorry.
You're right. Are you going to cry? Just let it out, man.
No,
No.
I'll be all
You're in
right.
a safe space here.
And
I'm understanding
we
why
got
he
the bunnies in
recommended
the
this
box.
topic.
yeah, yeah.
Go punch a microphone.
And my third one is I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas.
Oh, that
Are
was
you
suck.
kidding me?
I forgot about
this
that one.
little girl has no idea what she's talking about. She doesn't
Absolutely.
even know.
Hippopotami.
That's what I was going to.
Are dangerous.
I thought of that on the way
They will
over here.
eat
What is
you.
the plural of hippopotamus?
Hippopotami.
Hippopotami?
Is it actually?
Hippoponymous? Is that hippoponymous? Hippi? I'm just going to say hippos.
Hippopotos.
Listen,
Hippos.
this little girl, obviously, her parents don't watch Discovery Channel because hippopotamuses kill more people in Africa than even alligators.
asking for death.
It's a misconception
100%,
because
absolutely.
they flip boats and stuff all the time. And she wants. I'm
pretty
give her
sure-
a hippopotamus. Like, I'll take her to the zoo
she'll
and
be
just
done with it.
chuck her in the exhibit. Say, here's your hippo.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure hippos have killed more people a year than like sharks.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Or
I've
something
heard
like
that
that.
there's more hippo deaths than COVID deaths.
Like hippos dying or.
Yeah, there's more. No.
There's more hippos dying every day.
people.
We need the vaccine to save the
right.
hippos now.
We can try it on them first. So,
Yeah. Also, I feel like the
High risk
same
it.
girl singing that song would probably be an advocate for poaching. Because who knows
Yeah.
what she wants to do. She doesn't necessarily say she wants
Yeah.
it alive.
Yeah, she
I
probably.
feel like we've started to
Hang on the
skew
wall.
the meaning of this song.
So, anyways,
Moving on.
that's my 3. But honestly, sorry, British people, I hate those 2 songs. And Hippopotamus for Christmas, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
What does it have to do about the birth of Jesus? Nothing. So
Are you saying that you hate any Christmas song that doesn't have?
no,
Okay.
no, I like several Christmas songs.
Christmas at Ground Zero is an awesome song. It
Yeah,
has
that's a
nothing
good
to do with
song.
about, Jesus.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
You like that song?
I love that song.
Oh, no, that's a bad one.
I love that one. My grandma hated it, but we used to sing it to her as a kid. True story. My grandma,
I got a song for you.
like get the fly swatter and try to hit us with it. And Grandpa got run over by a John Deere. That's a good one for Christmas time. But yep. So that's
Wow.
my 3. Sorry.
That was a lot. I feel like you let a lot off your shoulders
Yeah.
there.
Cathartic.
And I'm glad you did.
I
cathartic.
did, and it just makes me.
I know
mad.
what songs to play next time in the
good
car
word.
with you.
Yeah.
Also,
Try.
I feel like for me at least, anytime I hear a Christmas song before it's the season, it just annoys me.
Yeah.
Every single, I don't care what it's about. It just ticks me off. And I think it has to do with my love for Christmas because I hear a song before
Gonna start
Christmas.
crying on us, right?
Yeah.
Jeez,
I just love Christmas so much.
I think it has to do with my love for Christmas.
This is my testimony.
Give your brother a hug. Come on.
No, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
We've talked about that.
But yeah, I hear a Christmas song before Christmas and I get kind of ticked off that it's not Christmas. So
It's because there's no good Thanksgiving songs to buffer it. And
Did you
we've
know
talked
that
about
there's a
before.
Thanksgiving song now?
There is a few.
Wow.
Well, no, it's literally called the Thanksgiving
Oh.
song. I'll shout it out. Someone else go. I'll find it.
the one by Eric Eaton and Nathan Lockhart.
There's a song called Turkey Time,
Ew.
but I don't know.
Turkey tirade today.
Yeah.
Wow.
This song's
Well,
actually
there's
really
the
good.
I got beans, greens, some tomatoes. That one, the TikTok song.
I think that's just a vine.
The Vine. Whatever.
You young people.
All right, I can go real quick.
Go ahead. I'm done.
All right,
It's
mine.
by Ben Rector. It's called the Thanksgiving
Oh, yeah.
song. Yeah, that's a good one. That's good.
Ben Rector's actually really good.
Yeah.
But mine, I despise for a few reasons. The first one is that I've heard the song for years. Everyone has their entire life, and I've never known all the lyrics to it. Never, and it's always ticked me off. It's the 12 Days of Christmas,
Oh,
and it just ticks me off. Mainly because of that. If I try to sing along to it with a group of people that knows what it's about or knows the lyrics, I look like an idiot. Like I don't know when whoever gets the rings.
it's a lot of birds.
There's a lot of
There's a lot of money there.
which is disgusting.
So
first
look
of
up
all.
how much.
What's
Have you
in
heard
the
of
office,
bird
Dan?
food?
That's an episode of The Office. Yeah.
I can't help it that
Andy gives
first 11 days
birds.
of Christmas are perfect.
But there's just so much just crap in that song. Like nobody wants those.
You need to
42
listen
birds or
to Straight No Chaser
Oh,
version
yeah?
of that. Oh, yeah.
Really?
That's good. That's good.
Well, I mean,
It's pretty funny.
she's getting birds. She's getting humans,
Drummers.
like maids of milking and
Yeah.
drummers, and that's slavery.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was written during the Puritan time.
It has to have been.
And who'd want a drummer? All drummers are just evils.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anyone that
so-
plays the drums is just ignorant.
She got some pipers. Pipers.
Okay,
And
that's
look close
another
to
thing.
home, yeah.
What the crap is a piper?
I'm assuming it's a Scottishman in a kilt.
That's
I would
right.
assume.
Nobody likes bagpipes.
I was thinking of glass blowers or as pipers.
Like
I was
pipe
thinking,
fitter, like the Union.
I was thinking of some like
Pipe
doobie
fitter.
advocates, some pipers.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like Snoop.
Do you know that the 12 Days of Christmas is after Christmas, though? Like it's supposed to be the 12 days after Christmas.
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Second of all, why I hate it is I don't know who is receiving these gifts, but whoever's giving to them is a simp. That's a lot of money, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Especially if you give
And we're celebrating that.
the first, because you give the first gift 12 times, and then the second gift 11 times. and
Yeah, what's the 12th gift?
12 drummers
is-
drumming.
That's a lot of drummers. That has to be
Let's go,
expensive.
baby.
And
It's like a
We're
drum
out
line.
here for you.
It's like a college drum line.
Yeah.
yeah. And how many things total is that?
Well, it depends on how you added it up. If you did 1 plus 1 plus 2
Let's not
plus
do that. Let's just
3
go 1
I think
through
it's like
12.
84.
84.
I think 12. I can't remember how you do that
Yeah, let's
math.
not-
It's like
yeah.
n
Logically,
times n
that song's a
minus
mess.
one
Tell us in the
words.
comment section.
Structurally, song
right.
like music theory wise, trash. Content, trash. I feel like it just has kind of a bad message. That hurts
I
a lot
can't
of
listen
people.
to traditional, and I like the ones that are a little bit out there.
Me
yeah.
too. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, there's some good like modern day ones. that
Muppets do a good version.
Yeah, sure.
Wow, hating on the Muppets. Eric will not appreciate that.
Yeah, no. Well, that's why he's not here. We're gonna trash
The
some Muppets.
Muppets raised
episode.
Eric's kids.
But yeah, that's mine. Logan, what's yours?
Jingle Bell Rock.
What?
I hate Jingle Bell Rock.
Oh no, there's I think it's 1,000-Foot Crutch does a
That's
does an
cool.
awesome version of that.
I'm just talking about, the Christmassy Jingle Bell Rock that you hear. It's way overplayed, obviously.
It's in every Christmas movie.
It's in every Christmas movie.
Home Alone.
I hated doing that in like school. Jingle Bell Rock was always on there.
Jingle Bell.
And I hated that song because I got stuck in middle school when I was in band. When we played Jingle Bell Rock for a Christmas concert, I had to sit there and listen to that during practice, and the only thing I got to play was that little piece, those two pieces of wood you slap together. It makes like a little whip noise.
No, that was for a sleigh ride.
No, this is this song, trust
They
me.
did it for that song?
Yeah.
Man, that's pushing it.
So I sat there all day and listened to that. I hate that song. Other than that, I mean, Christmas music to me is just like, it's all passive. I don't really get it.
One of my favorites is All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. Is that your least favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
That's top of my list.
What's your least favorite? You have a list of least favorites?
No, that's
That's
if
one
I
of
had a
them?
list, that would be the top one
Why do you hate that song?
because it's awful.
Do you have a soul?
Yes, that's why I hate it.
Nothing gets me more worked up than when you're sitting in a restaurant and you hear that beautiful intro and you're just like,
I love that song.
I mean, it's Mariah Carey. There's one good reason not to like it. It's just an awful
she's
song.
talented. You have to admit she's talented.
No, I don't.
Have you heard her do those like whistle tones when she sings super high? It's impressive.
actually, Ryan was actually going to show us those.
Yeah.
I can whistle.
Yeah.
Wow,
What's your least favorite Christmas song, Jeff?
that one.
Is it actually?
Yes, it
was that what you were
actually
going to say the
is.
whole time? Oh, snap.
That's funny.
Get ready.
Yeah,
that
and
in.
I hate the Chipmunks. The Chipmunks
Oh,
song.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Christmas.
Stop, Ryan. He's getting mad.
He's going to
I'm
slap
going
me.
to throw my water at you.
Starting to twitch.
Sorry,
No,
Peter.
no,
Yeah.
No, that would be that would be my,
How'd they get those chipmunks to sing? That's impressive.
Shove them full of helium, I guess.
No, I heard they tested him for. That's how they're testing the COVID vaccine. It was just a while ago, and then they just kind of stood up and started singing.
Oh, the chipmunks?
Yeah.
God bless their little furry souls.
I thought I went back to the first segment about the Nutcracker, but you know.
Yeah, I heard they bribed him with nuts. They threatened to crack him.
Could.
Possible.
Well, that's a good list. That was very cathartic.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of crap Christmas music out there.
Yeah, hey, I want to say something about the 12. Not only do I know the 12 days of Christmas.
You know all of them?
I know all of them.
What are you doing with your
I
life,
know,
man?
I don't know. Some things just don't. I also know the 12 redneck days of Christmas.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What
All
are
right,
those?
One
what's
pack
day
of Bud.
6?
12 pack of Bud, 11 wrestling tickets, 10 Copenhagen, 9 years probation, 8 table dancers, 7 packs of Red Mink, 6 cans of Spam, 5 flannel shirts, 4 Big Mud tires, 3 shotgun shells, 2 hunting dogs, and some parts to a Mustang GT.
Oh my
That's a
God.
classic song right there.
Who's that by?
Jeff Foxworthy.
I heard
Yeah.
Oh,
Ben
man.
Rector does a cover of that too.
Of 12 Days of Christmas?
No, I'm joking.
Redneck Christmas?
Another good cover of that, Bob and Doug McKenzie. You guys ever watched the movie Strange Brew?
Yeah.
I've heard of it,
It's
It's got Rick.
It's crazy. Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
and
Oh, Rick
Dave
Moranis. What
Yeah.
a good guy.
So
I
they do a
hope.
version. It's just out there. It's out there.
I actually saw on Instagram the other day, no context, someone got a lip tattoo with Rick Moranis' name on it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was cool.
A Ghostbuster fan or Honey, I Shrunk the
Maybe.
Kids, one of the two.
Dude, that was a great movie. Honey, I Shrunk the
Could be
Kids.
Little Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody wasn't a fan. I heard he got attacked in New York there a few
I
weeks
saw
ago.
that.
Somebody
Why-
knocked him out.
Yeah, someone just punched him in the
Yeah,
face.
just walked up, hit him, took off.
Curb stomped him. Jeez. American History X.
Jeez.
Rick Moranis edition.
Oh,
Must have been Edward Norton.
I hate that sound of that part. I just-
That's one of the most
goodness.
graphic movie scenes, which really ties well into the whole Christmas thing we're going for.
Yeah.
American History X,
Nothing
great
like
Christmas,
Christmas
movie.
Yes.
and neo-Nazism in America.
right. Well, they're dreaming of a white Christmas. You know.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that way.
Logan, it's your turn for racial slur. You're the only one left.
I'm talking about the movie. I'm not saying anything about racial stuff.
Touche.
Yeah. Oh man, if we weren't on air, I have a few comments about that would be hilarious. But we're not gonna mention them. All right, so let's carry on. This one isn't really Christmas themed, but I feel like part of Moral Dilemma is to talk about these kind of things. They're important. And it's the
We tackle
status
the
of
big things.
We talk about the big things,
Right.
the important things. We talk about what America wants to hear. We talk about what the Brits want to hear.
Wow.
Right.
Not anymore.
No, I mean, we're gonna. This is the last episode. We're gonna include them.
They all unsubscribed after what Dan went through.
Sorry.
But we're going to talk about what's going on right now with HBO Max and Warner Brothers, and mainly just all streaming services. So pretty much, I know Jeff knows a lot about this too, so chime in if I say something stupid. But pretty much what Warner Brothers...
He's like,
chiming in already.
Can't
What
talk that
Warner
much.
Brothers has done is they announced that in 2021, all of their movies, which is a lot, like here's a little list.
A pretty good list. And
Which
some good movies too. So I'm looking forward to it.
The big one for me was Dune. I'm super
yeah.
pumped for that
Eric's
movie.
excited. I'm excited
And
for
I
that.
felt
I
like
like
that
that.
movie could have saved movie theaters. But pretty much what they're doing is this big list of movies they're releasing directly to HBO Max the day they come out and theaters. Is that right? And they got some big ones like the new Wonder Woman movie, Dune, the new
Gross.
Suicide Squad movie,
Gross.
the new Conjuring movie, which is always super good for movie theaters. I think that's what it says on this list. It might be
I
fake.
remember they had that
The Matrix
priest.
4, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Oh, they butchered the whole one. Well, they left off on a
wow.
bad note.
yeah, but this is like redemption. That's a whole
We're
nother.
hoping,
There's
yeah.
a whole nother topic.
But what really worries me and a lot of people is that this is just going to completely destroy movie theaters. Because, I mean, they're struggling right now with COVID anyway.
Right.
And a lot of, all the ones pretty much, well, I guess the Regal around here is currently closed down. And it closed down because the new 007 movie, right, got pushed back.
Is that what it was?
I think it was because that was the last big movie to come out this year.
yeah, and Black Widow,
And Black Widow, yeah.
which was going to be the big
shoot,
summer
right.
movie and
And
stuff.
they were
I
really,
forgot.
really banking on those
Yeah.
to kind of help them come back. But they got pushed back, and they're probably going to just be streamed now somewhere. But especially with this HBO Max thing, that's not good. I don't know. I just think the movie theater is that's one of my favorite things to do. Go to a movie theater with people.
For sure.
Yeah,
You just can't beat
Experience.
it.
I haven't been to a movie in a couple months,
It's
and
sad.
it's like back in the day, I would go to like two or three movies
Yeah,
a week.
yeah.
Well, I got in for free, but you
You weren't helping very much.
but
Why are they shutting down?
what a lot of people don't know too is I don't know the exact percentage, but movie theaters, they're kind of like gas stations. How gas stations don't make really any money off of gasoline. They like maybe 5%. Movie theaters hardly make any money off of the actual movie
Yeah.
ticket sales.
I've always heard that. It's always
That's
concessions.
that's why
Yeah.
concessions are so
Yeah.
stinking high priced. There's something about going to a movie, especially one of these big movies with, superhero movies or Matrix
Yeah,
or
for
Star
sure.
Wars. It's just not the same watching it at the
exactly.
house,
That's-
especially like with me with kids. I mean, I
Exactly.
love my kids, but it's like I'm not going to watch the new
Right.
Star Wars movie, and they're coming up and saying, "Can I have some chocolate milk?" And it's like,
You gotta lock them in their rooms and they come out.
you're killing me here. You know what I mean?
I feel like I was so specific because that's what happens a lot.
Yeah.
Well, see, Park and I were talking about that earlier today. He's a fan of the staying at home watching the big movies on HBO
Yeah.
Max.
Uh-huh.
I'm a fan of the theater.
Me too. That's how I am.
It's an experience and it's an immersive thing. And we've talked a
Exactly.
little bit about this before, I believe. But you're there. You
Uh-huh.
know, it's especially the big movies. If it's a smaller movie, not action and stuff, maybe streaming at home is not so bad. But you just can't beat the big screen.
Exactly.
Being immersed in this thing.
Well,
Even if
now-
you have a good surround sound, it's still not the same
Exactly,
as in the theater.
yeah.
There's walls shaking and all that stuff.
It's like making a point to go see a movie. It's like an event for people,
Yeah, yeah.
which is what I really like. Like you're taking time out of your day to go somewhere to see a movie, other than you're just sitting on your couch
right.
wearing just your undies,
I do
boxers
that.
or briefs.
Well,
Boxers.
None.
I'll throw this out.
Man,
And I'm sure it was
Yeah.
brought
That's
up
right.
before, but look at our culture now where we have all these streaming services. What about the kids growing up now? They're missing out on
Exactly.
that experience.
Yeah.
So it's just going to, I don't know how we can fix it, but it's just going to continue to drive that way
Yeah.
because the youth of today like that. Mm-hmm. And
I
they
think
don't,
we
they're
start with
missing out
burning
on.
down everyone's
Yeah.
house in America.
Well, it's because
It's a little
and it
extreme.
goes back to socialization. Like a lot of younger people and stuff, they like to socialize like this
Yeah.
on video
History
games and stuff,
teacher.
but they don't. I mean, look, like drive-in movie theaters 60 years ago. That was where everything happened.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Either at the the local restaurant or the drive-in theater. But we have movie theaters, but yeah, it's that like. I know it sounds crazy, but you guys probably agree with me. And it's like sometimes, my wife will be like, "How many times have you seen that movie?" Like, I know sometimes we've gone to a movie and I'll go to the next day.
Oh, yeah,
if
I've
it's
done
with
that
the
before.
different people. I love seeing a movie that I think's great with someone who's not seen it yet.
So then you don't tell them about the surprise ending, and then you're just screwing them up.
Yeah, you want to see that reaction.
No, I'm not going to ruin. It's just I love that experience. Because it's like you want to share that with someone.
And
else.
another thing that people forget about is like that's like another piece of like what gets people to leave their house.
True.
You know what I mean? Because if this streaming thing, like I know COVID's serious. Like I had COVID too. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are screwed. But I just think it's like at some point we're gonna have to just get over that. You know what I mean? And if everything is just handed to you at your house, this is gonna be like
it'll be such an isolation of
Exactly.
society.
a big old episode of WALL-E is coming.
True.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Wow, you went there. Okay.
WALL-E's coming to America because I think that
That'll be our next special.
because being quarantined for 3 weeks in my house, I realized that like man, they did a really good job to where I really don't have to leave my room for anything.
It's sketchy.
Because at some point I was realizing that like all I really need to do is leave my room to go to the bathroom and get food. And
really, you just have
everything
a
else,
window, a second story, you can just do that.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, and there's things like DoorDash now and like Grubhub where people don't even have to leave their house for food.
So where are these
I'm too
mingling?
cheap for all
Like
that.
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
pay
saying.
that
it's
much.
expensive, but
the
it's
movie
possible.
theaters are like a mingling area.
Exactly.
And like just inviting your friends to that. I know like the people in this room right now with the podcast, we would see a movie almost every Sunday night.
Yeah.
And like it's just stuff like
Well,
that.
and go back to a couple episodes where we shared experiences.
Yeah,
that
we
we've had.
have
I think Jordan shared his
big
experience.
memories, yeah.
Paul, awesome memories.
Yeah, I'm
from-
sitting here. I still remember standing outside of the theater in 2001 for the first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I think you went and got a milkshake from the.
You remember?
Yeah, like, dude, I'm serious. And I
Yeah.
remember when we were standing there, and it was just this thing. And like, it's like, I like want to experience that with like my son and stuff,
Exactly,
and my
yeah.
kids.
Right.
And it's like, you know,
It's an event.
What
I mean,
we're gonna,
it's-
what they're probably gonna do next, which would be crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't see these large companies. They're gonna reinvent the movie theater,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, come and watch our movie. We're gonna stream it for you, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you change?
I remember my thoughts of a mutual friend of ours changed forever for me because we were so hyped up about Batman Begins.
Stink
we
bomb.
see it. No, well, that too. But we see
okay.
it afterwards. He's
Someone let off a stink
he
bomb.
comes
Was his
out and he
nickname
says,
Stink Bomb? Or
he says,
He let one off in the middle of
no,
the theater.
somebody else did.
Yeah, okay.
A former youth of his. Anyways, it was packed. We walk out. We're sitting out in the parking lot where we digress, and he's like, I'm like,
Oh wow.
it was Myers.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Well,
I remember
that
that.
explains it
Pumped
right
about
there.
I remember
That's how you
He
get
was so
beat
pumped
up.
about it. We were talking about, and I try not to read too much, but we were talking about it. And I think he just hyped himself up too much. After he saw it come back, and he was kind of like let down by it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm a Batman fan, so
Right.
I remember that.
But
moment
that's a
because I
memory
saw-
that wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
One of my
I remember
favorite
that.
things
You were
ever
there, yeah.
about movies that I miss so much right now is the conversations that whoever you were seeing the movie with would have as soon as it was over in the lobby. That was such a good moment. I remember one of my favorite movie experiences. I saw Split, the M. Night movie.
Man.
And this is the first time I saw it. And the plot twist happened. And after the movie, during that scene, I freaked out. And I noticed another guy in the front was freaking out. And none of my friends with me had seen Unbreakable, which was very disappointing. My bad. They're cultured now. But after the movie, I had like a 20-minute conversation with this guy I had never known about M. Night movies, which I love, and he loved too. And it was so cool. And I miss stuff like that, and I miss just like hanging out with the boys after the theater. And it just really sucks that it feels like everything's just pushing against theaters right now. Like everything's just going to be streamed, and that's what people
And
want.
another huge problem is that, like, I understand streaming services and, like, you need to subscribe to these, but if you think about going to, like, a movie for something specific versus having Netflix, Hulu, I mean, Hulu doesn't really kick.
Hulu
Yeah. But Netflix,
Sorry,
HBO
Hulu.
Max, and what's another one? Disney Plus, honestly,
Yeah.
is pretty cool. Like, that's a lot of money per month to just get to see that variety.
Yeah.
Because I had the same issue because I was wanting to watch Friends. I'm a big fan of that series stuff, but not series, but that TV show. But it was so hard for me to just get HBO Max just to watch that because then I know I'm just paying monthly for something that usually like.
and then
I
he found out that we already had
not
it.
that it was like a movie thing, but even then, and then you worry about like different devices conflicting with that streaming service. Like
Yeah.
Roku doesn't support HBO Max.
Yeah.
Or neither does any Apple TV Generation 2 and below. So I had both of those, so I couldn't. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
streaming services are just kind of
Yeah,
annoying.
it's just kind of, and it's not the same. They can get kind of annoying. in order to see what you want, you're going to have to pay a lot of money for just a month if you want to see a certain movie, which, I mean, you're kind of doing the same thing in a movie theater, but it feels better because you're getting an experience.
Because you're going somewhere, yeah.
What about the financial aspect of it? Again, Park and I were talking. Can these streaming services offer the money
to the theaters?
Well, just to make a movie, if it's just going straight streaming and there's not going to the theaters and having all that money, because that's where they make their money. You know, you have these giant movies that cost $50 million or $500 million, whatever, to make. Can they cover that with just streaming?
Yeah, true.
So if that's the case, if that's the case, we're not going to see these giant blockbuster. I mean, big budget
going to go
movies.
down. The quality's going to go down.
That's a good point.
That's be smaller budget movies, which is fine.
And the filmmakers are going to have less incentive to make a big action, awesome set piece movie.
Yeah, they only get paid like $14
because they're going to think about people watching on their laptop or on their 50-inch TV or whatever, and not on this big 100-inch, or I don't even know how big movies bigger than that.
Oh yeah,
IMAX screens and stuff. Because I know like Christopher Nolan, like
he makes movies for
IMAX, and a lot of these people like whoever's directing Dune, Denis Villeneuve or whatever. I know he's super into filming movies specifically to see on like the big screen.
Really?
Like the way he shoots scenes looks the best on the big screen and stuff like that. So
they're going to have to change, kind of like what you're saying, Jeff. They're going to have to change how they do it because, fortunately, the way the industry is that a lot of the money where they say that they rake in or it costs this much, but they put money towards things that don't go on the screen.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the difference. If all the money in that budget for that film went to the screen, it'd be a totally different ballgame. But it doesn't. Only a fraction of what that money, that budget, that film cost or they made, only a little bit of it goes to it. The rest of it does go to the actors. The rest of it goes to the catering. The rest of it goes to, it breaks down this, that's just the industry. So that's why it costs so much to do that. So they're going to have to rechange the whole format to where every penny goes to on screen instead of everything else so that they can make it worth its while.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention too is Logan said variety, and Jeff kind of talks about it too. But I think with the streaming services, we're gonna see a lot of variety in our movie choices.
Yeah,
you're gonna see a lot of that go away.
Yeah,
and you're gonna start seeing a lot of the same genres. You're gonna start seeing a lot of the same whatever's big. I mean, just like restaurants do. Someone brings out a brand new burger, they all do. Oh, we got a fruit cup now. Okay, we do. I mean, they're gonna do the same.
Compete with each other.
They're gonna do the same
thing,
and so we're gonna lose specific types of movies.
Yeah.
You know, like documentaries have taken a huge plunge in the past several years because it's all been the superhero stuff, which I love.
Yeah.
But no one's going to want to spend, I'm going to invest $20 million into this because no one's going to want to watch it.
Then they get a streaming service picks it up, but then a few years later, another one buys them out, so then you got to switch if you want to watch that because they just keep buying them out.
Streaming services fight all the time. You hear all the time like...
Well, it's very political.
I know you see just like
them.
HBO and HBO Max. I mean, just my example of Roku and HBO Max. They've been having this huge fight, which is just so unnecessary.
Yeah.
But,
and there's always lawsuits involved too. I mean, there's always something.
Yeah.
It's a travesty to me to lose movie theaters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's because it's a big part of my life.
Given the choice, I'm going to the theater.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we have HBO Max, but Wonder Woman and stuff. I'm going to the theater.
I mean,
100%.
not only to support them for me, but just because I like that experience a lot better. Especially Dune, a movie that I've been looking forward to for like a few years because it's going to be insane. I don't want to watch that.
You
at
have
home.
to see movies with landscapes and stuff on a
and that's
huge
a landscape
screen.
movie, and it's a director who focuses on stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, like the movie 1917, that came out.
Yeah.
Like I am so mad that I didn't see that in theater. I didn't see it until it came out,
IMAX.
and I bought it. I bought it, and
that would be awesome.
Just
IMAX.
Watching that, I'm like, man, I just want to be there. I want to experience that on
Ryan,
large
you
screen.
remember we watched Dunkirk and
IMAX?
Dunkirk too. We
man.
watched Dunkirk IMAX, and we came out and like you had that feeling of like shooting a gun. You had that ringing in your ears.
Did you come out with PTSD?
It was.
Well, that was Saving Private Ryan back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Us.
I
when
wish
that
I
came
was
out,
there
you
for
no IMAX, but just regular theater. You're like,
Yeah.
you just go out. You're like you've been gut punched or
something
something.
about when you go to like like the mall, and you walk out those doors, and you're blinded by the light after the movie theater experience. You're just like, where am I?
Yeah. Well, I know, because every time we went and saw a movie, it's always been late at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the times where I actually to go, like in the middle of the day, my body thinks it's the middle of the night. And I woke up at the door, I'm like, oh, there's light out there. It never happens.
jarring.
We always go at night instead of.
It's awesome. And I feel like movie theaters already have been really, like, even before this Warner Brothers thing, which I think is going to be a huge impact on theaters, they've already been kind of fighting the backlash of streaming services, because most theaters have their own, like, monthly subscription service now.
Yeah.
That are kind of trying to compete with what a lot of people are
Bring
looking
back
at
Movie
now.
Pass, please.
Well, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, that is a whole different
That's
topic.
another episode.
But it's just sad.
Already.
Luckily, I don't think Regal's permanently shut down, right?
No.
It's just
not
for a while. So hopefully,
And Athena Grand is still open right now.
Yeah.
They're showing
Athena
older
and
movies.
Marietta.
Yeah.
are
And
both
Marietta, they're showing older movies
yeah,
and
just
stuff.
to
So.
just to get I don't
Yeah.
know.
Just
well,
to
we
hang
talked
in
about
there.
Christmas movies last week. Doug had texted and said they're showing Die Hard in the theaters. So.
Oh yeah.
I would go. I'd
Yeah.
go watch
That'd
that
be cool.
just to see it again in
Sure.
theaters.
Podcast field trip.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I'm down.
That'd be
Homework.
fun. Moral dilemma field trip.
Yeah.
We have to write an essay.
I'll write it. You guys can copy mine.
There you go.
Be on down
We'll
back
have
in
to
school
we'll have to
again.
do an on-site episode and kind of.
In a movie theater. This is great.
On location. That sounds awesome.
Hey, they may be
Yeah.
down for that.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Anything to jazz up their
It would just
advertising
be.
for movie theater.
It would just. I've always wanted to do. Space Odyssey 2000 or whatever it is. That old show.
3000.
That old show where they.
Theater 3000.
That old
Mystery
show,
Theater 3000.
Mystery Science Theater 3000,
Yeah.
where they always talked over the old movie and like made fun
The
of it
guy in
and
the
stuff.
two
Yeah,
robots.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that'd be fun.
Sweet.
All right. Well, let's move on. Let's get back into the Christmas. We're gonna talk about our favorite Christmas gift we've ever gotten. This is gonna be interesting.
I was excited about this.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Even
You're
though I'm
welcome.
still kind of. I have two that I'm thinking of, but I'm gonna say one of them. But who wants to go first? I'm still kind of thinking about it.
Not it.
I mean, I have two.
Dan-
I don't
Dan's always
I
got
feel like
notes.
I'm going first. Okay, so I'll go real quick. So,
Take your time.
okay. Well,
Don't give him that window.
I
Yeah.
love that.
So obviously, every Christmas is special, and
Yeah.
as a kid growing up, we didn't have a whole bunch, but my parents still tried to give us stuff, that we wanted or whatever. So 1990, me and my brothers, we got was when we got our first video system, and it was
Yeah.
the original Nintendo.
Oh,
And I still
You remember
I
that.
still remember it. We had the big wooden TV that sat on the floor.
Yeah.
You just put crap on top and everything. And it was
Weighs 3,000
Yeah,
pounds.
and so it was
No
1990. So Nintendo had been out for like 4 years.
Yeah.
I think it came out in like 86.
Uh-huh.
And so we opened that thing up and we
Be like
hooked
the
it up.
videos you see now. Like,
Yeah, we hooked it up so I would have been. So
This
I
is
was
the
like
future.
8. I mean, so I was 8. So that was big because my cousins had an Atari, and I remember playing Atari
Yeah.
and thinking, "Oh, this is because you never had anything like
Yeah.
that before." You know what I mean? It's like you never experienced that.
You're 8 in 1990.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I was 8,
feel old.
getting ready to turn 9.
I was -7.
Getting ready to turn 9.
Now he feels old.
I wasn't even a thought.
Makes me feel any better. I was -10.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I feel really old.
So I can still remember my dad and I helping set that thing up, and we played, and
That's so
it was the we got one game with it, and it was Mario and Duck Hunt. And we played
yeah.
Mario, and
Oh,
we were
yeah.
shooting Duck Hunt with the trigger.
Trying to shoot
and,
that stupid dog.
Yeah, and I think we played that for like a week straight.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
But that was a huge ordeal. And side note, I still have that Nintendo,
Do you?
and it still works.
Yeah, those
Sometimes.
things are
I can get it
tanks.
to work. Mike Tyson Punch Out. We'll play that.
Yeah.
Bases Loaded 2. I love that baseball
nice.
game. So it actually still works. I think I have like 30 some games for it still. But
Yeah.
anyway, so that's probably my first one. And my second one, I was probably 12 years old. So I was probably in 6th grade. And so when I was a kid, basketball jerseys were the thing.
Oh, yeah.
So like this was like everyone, especially guys, like everyone had basketball jerseys. But back in the day, they were like 60, 70 bucks
Yeah.
even when I was a kid, and that was a lot of
Adjusting
money.
for inflation, that's very expensive.
Yeah, that was a lot of money. And I wanted one, and it's like, the closest you got was like the T-shirt from Hills that had the jersey drawn on it that looked like, you know what I mean? And so I remember going through Christmas and I didn't get it, and I was like, oh, that's okay. And my parents did the whole, oh, wait a minute, we have an extra gift.
The classic.
And brought it out, and it was like wrapped
Red
up.
Ryder BB gun.
Yeah. But it was wrapped up in a like a cereal box, and it was a red Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls jersey, number 23.
That was money back then, too, man.
And I was going to bring it, and I totally forgot it. I should have brought it, but
You
I still have it hanging in my
That's
closet
funny.
at the house.
Still wear it?
No, I can't wear it. I think I wore it like my 6th grade year to school, and of course you wore it with like a white shirt underneath, tucked in.
Yeah.
And I wore that shirt for a year, and I didn't wear
Every
it
day for a
anymore.
year.
Yeah, probably. But I didn't wear it anymore. I took like meticulous care of it.
Oh, really?
And
That's
I just left it hanging in my closet, and so
That's
But I
cool.
still have it.
Condition.
That
I
doesn't surprise
awesome.
me. You
I
probably
still-
still have a fresh pair of New Balances in your closet.
That he bought
Hey,
8
I
months ago.
Those are clean,
Yeah,
Dan.
those are clean. But no, I still have that jersey, and it hangs in my closet, and I'll probably have it forever.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I was like super excited, like almost like you're yelling.
Yeah.
But
That's cool.
yeah, that was a cool gift. So those are my two.
You're gonna let your kids wear it?
Yeah, maybe I'll give it to him when he's older. But
That's awesome.
so
we don't know about
yeah.
that.
So those are my two.
Who's 23, Dad? What?
Yeah.
Oh, is this
I
the
want
actor from
LeBron.
Black Panther?
yeah.
They play basketball?
That horrible Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, jeez.
don't mention
Let's not
that.
go there.
You ruined it.
All right. Mine real quick. I have a few. I'll mention two real quick. The first one that I vividly remember,
Please don't say what I think you're going to say.
the PS2.
No, I
Okay.
wasn't around really
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, my dad actually got a PS2 like the year it came out for us for Christmas. I didn't even know
wow.
what a PS2 was. I was so young.
I wasn't old enough to remember that.
Like the big
But-
block one. That's
Oh,
all we
yeah.
had. That's
But
what we
my
had.
dad got it, and I was like excited for it, but I didn't really know what it was. And I remember when he plugged it in, he had Sly Cooper for it, and Jack and Daxter.
We weren't allowed to play Jack and Daxter
And
either.
we weren't allowed to play Jack and Daxter because it was T, or one of them were T, I can't remember. But we would sit, and I think the rest of that Christmas, me, Logan, I think Jordan was around too. He was probably just like
He was
an
a
egg.
fetus.
He was a tadpole.
He was just kind of laying around.
His tail hadn't dissolved yet.
But for the rest of that Christmas, we sat there in our in one of the rooms upstairs and watched my dad play video
You didn't
games
even
for
play, you
hours.
just
We didn't
watched.
even play, but
Yeah,
it was
we-
so freaking fun.
We would just
to watch.
sit there and watch him. That's literally what we
Yeah.
would do. I remember we brought it to Grandma's house because Dad wanted to play it at Grandma's house, and we would sneak in and play Jack and Daxter. Mom would come in just rampant, like, just
Yeah.
like,
Oh, man.
what are you guys playing in here?
Yeah, and she got kind of mad at Dad for buying a T game,
Yep.
but it was so awesome. And that was like my first big intro to like video games, which obviously has carried
That's
over. Now I got the PS5 in your
That's-
face, everyone.
Oh, yeah, it's not Christmas
The
yet.
PS2 is a crazy system. Like
Oh, yeah.
it was a huge
It was
jump
a
from
big
PlayStation.
step,
You're going to
Yeah.
get our house
Oh,
robbed,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to say where it is in our house, though. Or if it's in our house. So that was a big one. That's
It's
one.
on-
I
it's
always
underground.
remember that.
I'll put his address in the bottom so you guys
Yeah, try me. And the second one actually didn't happen too long ago. I guess it was probably like 8 or 9 years, so maybe it was kind of long ago.
Yeah.
But for Christmas, I got an Epiphone Les Paul, which
Oh, nice.
was before that I had some like Walmart like
Walmart Fender.
Stratocaster.
First act.
It wasn't a first
Sunburst.
act. It was actually a California, which
Yeah.
might as well have been a first
Right,
act.
right.
And it was fine. I didn't really play it much just because it didn't work very well. It was really hard to keep in tune. But my parents got me an Epiphone Les Paul, and I still have it, obviously. And man, that really changed everything because I really dove into learning guitar then, which I'm super glad I did. But it was so awesome. And a funny story about that is when I opened it for Christmas, I was super pumped about it. I just I immediately started playing it. And later that day, like that night,
It was the most depressing Christmas,
I
too.
took a picture of it and put it on Facebook. And then I was getting likes and everything on it, and I was like seeing who liked it. And then I looked at the picture and realized that there was a huge chunk of wood missing from the top of it. Like it was broken.
Seriously?
And I was like, how did I miss that? We were able to send it back. Shout out to Sweetwater for
Yeah.
being nice
They
about
send
that.
you candy in every word.
Yeah, I got candy twice that year.
Wow.
But yeah, they actually sent it back. Like we sent it, and they knew it was a Christmas thing because my parents talked to someone there, and they sent it back super quick. So that was awesome. But
That's
that
nice
was
customer service.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was
Ryan,
a really awesome Christmas gift.
Sponsor
for me.
us, Sweetwater.
So,
Ours
yeah.
is-
Oh, that'd be sweet.
This is
Where
crazy.
my mic came from.
Yeah.
But my best Christmas presents were I have two also. It was the 360,
Oh,
Xbox
yeah.
360, just because like I was at that age when you got the PS2. That was me for the 360,
Yeah.
so I got that.
And that was yours though.
yeah, and that was my personal one. So like, that was like when we shared the PS2 with our whole family, and then when I got my own Xbox 360, I was like,
Oh, yeah.
And that was the
I
last
was
time I
like-
saw Logan for like 6 years.
I played the crap out of Battlefield 3. That is the most
yeah.
I've ever. That's the most I've ever progressed through a game. So the Xbox 360. This is really funny because this podcast makes me realize how strangely similar our childhood was.
Well, we did grow up in the exact same house.
We had the
same
same parents.
Yeah, that's
Everybody was treated equally.
This next part is weird too. But my second one was my first electric drum kit,
Okay.
which was revolutionary.
Yeah.
Because at the time, electric drum kits were like, whoa, like
Yeah.
you can like play your own sounds and like have different like crazy sound effects in it, and you can like play to your own back like tracks and stuff that is pre-built on there, and they have like programs that teach you how to play drums. So that was awesome, and I had my own electric drum kit in my room that I could play whenever I wanted.
Yeah.
And
That's
that
sick.
was awesome. And that was also from Sweetwater.
Really?
So that's why I'm saying that was
Yeah.
really weird. So definitely the
Man, God
360.
bless Sweetwater.
Yeah, seriously
What
though.
an incredible company.
And I actually applied to Sweetwater, didn't get a job.
I applied too, and they called me back, but it was during COVID, so it is what it is.
We hate you, Sweetwater.
Please sponsor
Yeah,
us.
so
from here to
360 to the electric drum kit, because that is where it all started for me with anything music. So
Yeah.
big
Wow.
big shout out to that.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
What about you, Jeff?
I like that. All right, top of my head. When I first saw this, it's the first thing came to my head because it's made a lasting impact on
Yeah.
my life.
He's gonna say my family.
Family.
Oh my god.
My boys are so special.
My little
No.
boys. No, it's my first edition Spider-Man comic.
That would be awesome. So I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan.
Okay.
That was my go-to toy.
Didn't know that until just
all
now.
the other stuff, He-Man and all that, you can keep that. Give me my G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
You know. All that stuff was cool back in the day, but I was all about G.I. Joe. So if you know anything about G.I. Joe, the mother lode would be the aircraft carrier they have. And for those that are the uninitiated, they had, and for a toy, it was 6.5 foot long.
It's huge.
It's huge. I mean, and you put your
That's
landing
crazy.
planes on it and all
Yeah.
that stuff. The thing was, I mean, it was a monster. And back in the day, it was probably a couple $100, which, that's a lot for a toy.
Yeah.
This is 80s or something.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So, so I've been a
100 years
G.I. Joe fan for years, getting different toys at Christmas and all that stuff. Always asked for that aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Never got it.
Uh-huh.
Of course, it's an expensive
Oh,
gift.
yeah,
I
for
understand that. So one year, I finally got that aircraft carrier.
Uh-huh.
My parents had wrapped all the stuff, and they had switched the names on the presents. So all my stuff was under my sister's name.
Oh, really?
So when I saw this giant box and it said Jamie, I'm like,
Oh.
well, it's not the aircraft carrier, it's Jamie's. I don't know what she's getting, a day bed or something stupid or girl, So
I feel like everyone's sister got like a day.
that's right.
Daybed.
So
Tanny booth.
she's almost albino, so she's not painting me.
Maybe this year.
That's right. Yeah. So anyway, we start opening the presents as they're handed out, and I see that the present they give me is Jamie. It says Jamie. I'm like, well, this is Jamie. He's like, no, we switched the names. And I had that little glimmer of hope when I saw that giant box in the corner up against
Yeah.
the wall, and I opened that thing up, and it was
Oh man.
it was that aircraft carrier. I'm like, holy
crap
cow!
yourself?
Oh, just about, just about. And because I had asked for that for years and never gotten it, and then finally got it, and I
This is
still
like,
have
what,
it.
2 years
I still
ago?
have it. Yes, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
That's crazy.
Last
So
Christmas.
and I'd still be excited. I got
Yeah.
I got G.I. Joe toy there a few years ago. I
Yeah.
got it on eBay, and I was so excited to have
Yeah.
it. I'm like,
Do
always
you
wanted
still
it.
have the aircraft carrier?
Oh yeah,
Really?
it's set up in my basement.
That's
so.
cool.
And it's probably worth
It's worth a
yeah.
few
Are you looking
dollars.
that up?
a few dollars.
No, he's looking up.
Last time
is that it?
I'd seen something. If you get like a
There's
pretty well complete version on eBay,
Man, you're not joking. That's huge.
I'm telling you.
It's like the size of a living room.
Yeah.
You could get in that and actually like float in a pond.
Almost.
You could land a real aircraft on that thing.
It takes you about 45 minutes to set the thing up.
See, that's some of the most fun, yeah.
$800 on eBay.
$800 in eBay.
He's like, oh, shoot, I got a song.
I know. I'm getting rid of this. Anybody looking for an aircraft carrier? I've got one. 95% complete.
Here's one on eBay, still mint in box for
Holy
$9
cow.
grand.
Mint in box.
$9 grand. $450 shipping.
Jeez.
No
I
doubt.
see one for $4 grand.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, you're sitting on a... Dude,
But-
We'll drop his address down there.
yeah. You
Break
can
into the basement.
You can steal that and buy a PS5 with it.
There you go.
That's this
So
generation. Would
that
totally do
was that was my go-to. I mean,
that's awesome.
That was it. That
Yeah.
was cool. And I've got other, GI Joe stuff I've gotten
Yeah.
that were big things. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
The empty
that
box
aircraft
alone is $255.
You don't have the box, do you?
No, I don't
I'm
have
sure
the
you
box.
tore into that thing like a rabid animal when
Now,
you were
see,
little.
I wish I was more like I am now then, as far as collecting stuff
Yeah.
and knowing the value of things. Of course, as a kid, you want the toy.
Yeah.
And who could care less about the box?
Exactly, yeah. Just,
I mean, I've looked back on some things I've had. I mean, even from when I was just little, the things like that you go into like little shops and you see them on display like for
Yeah.
70
Yeah.
to $100, and I'm
Yeah.
like a Game Boy SP in the box is worth like a ridiculous amount
and
of
that's
money.
the kind of
now.
thing I threw in Mom's purse before we went to church, and I was like, "Come on, give me my Game Boy."
Oh my!
Tear open the box and oh man. All right, well that was fun.
Hey, real quick G.I. Joe trivia here. Since you're the G.I. Joe guy, is
that your name?
He's
All right,
the
guys,
G.I.
G.I. Joe trivia here.
I feel like I remember, because there's a lot of G.I. Joe ripoff toys. I feel like I remember reading something about how G.I. Joe actually trademarked their plastic making process to where it's either the left or the right hand, but the thumbnail's actually on the bottom of the thumb.
The thumbs are one of the thumbs are funny.
Yeah, so the thumbnail is actually on the bottom of the thumb. It's so that they would know the real G.I. Joe doll from like the fake companies trying to
No,
sell.
that wasn't a mess. Actually, back then in that time with war and stuff, they would actually break their thumb backwards.
Right, because it made holding the M16 so much easier.
Exactly.
Maybe that's wrong with the stormtroopers. That's why I miss so much.
See, back in the day, GI Joe toys, they were paving the way for some of that stuff. If you know anything about vintage Star Wars,
Well,
this is the
they
figures,
were
the legs,
articulated.
stiffed arms, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. GI Joe's fully articulated.
Yeah.
I mean, not fully, but they would actually
could
bend at
walk
the
on their
knees,
own, yeah.
arms,
Open the
hands, and
mouth,
all that.
move the tongue.
I hope, not to keep changing subjects, but Doug, I hope he listens to the podcast because I was actually going to text
I
him.
don't think he likes it.
Oh, okay. Well, he was on here a few times. I was going to talk to him the other day, but there's a guy in Europe who I'll have to find the story, but there were 12 specific Star Wars figures made. I can't remember what character it was, but it was a pre-model that they made him, and they decided not to make it. So they just went to like the factory owners or whatever, and he's selling it now. It's like 150 grand. It's actually up for sale right now on eBay.
I don't think Doug can afford it.
But I was
Doug will
going to
get
tell
that.
Doug about that if
Doug
he
will
wanted
sweep in.
to
That's
buy
right.
that.
He
I'll
won't bid
make
on
you
it.
a balloon arch if you can give me.
There you go.
I'll make you 3 balloon arts and a custom squid face guy. Rid of a squid head.
I loved
Yeah.
that podcast episode, by the way.
That was a good
That
one.
was hilarious. Talking
Yeah.
about how you didn't want to pop the balloons in front of all the little kids in the
Yeah.
high school.
Oh, Lord.
All right, well, that was awesome. That reminds me too. I love watching Christmas present reactions on YouTube, especially especially from like 90s Nintendo reactions. Oh, those are so awesome.
Have you seen the kid who gets the Wii and then he starts dry heaving at the end because he's laughing because he's crying? He's crying. He's crying so hard,
my gosh.
and then he just starts dry heaving because it's so great.
Turn it down a notch there, buddy. Come on.
I saw one of someone who I think he got a PS4. He was like an older guy, like he was married, and he was freaking out about the PS4, and it scared the cat. And the cat just attacked his face, and he had to get stitches and everything. It was bad. Like
It
that
gets
cat
upset
messed
about
him
a
up.
PS4. Man, that thing's frustrating me right now.
Yeah, imagine owning a last gen console.
I'll say that's probably my favorite gift that I've given is a PS4 because I got that for the boys for Christmas
yeah?
a few years ago, and
Yeah.
of course I use it more than anybody. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good present for
I'm
me.
sorry. I just looked it up and found it. So for those viewers, it was a prototype Boba Fett rocket firing, and he actually shot. There it is. He actually shot a rocket, and it originally sold for over 100,000, but he's selling it now for over 150,000.
Safety hazard. They couldn't have that. Kids are going to swallow the
rocket
rocket
fire.
and die.
Man.
So anyway, so sorry about that.
I'd
No,
say
that
it's
was
natural selection if you swallow a rocket.
If you swallow
Too stupid to live anyway.
There was an old woman who swallowed a fly. Remember that story?
Oh gosh, why'd you bring that up? Dan? Sorry.
Same woman that lived in a shoe?
That is
No.
the most brutal story ever. Children's book.
Yeah, it is rough.
Swallows a horse.
She basically swallows the whole farm.
The whole arc.
Yeah.
the whole food chain.
Arc. That's a great way to move right into the
Yeah,
Bible
that
verses.
transitions well.
Yeah, favorite Noah verses.
Favorite verses
Nobody
on
has any
Noah.
of those.
All right, so yeah, we're talking about
Drunk and naked.
verses that are just good things to good verses to
Is that where
think
we're at
about
now?
for the holidays. Yeah, we're gonna skip that last one. Actually, after the verses, we might do it real fast, but we'll see.
Man, you're really changing things up.
Dude, this is free
I'm so
form. This is a
confused.
podcast.
Eric's gone, so all the rules are out the window.
I know it.
Yeah, we don't
Oh, there
need
we go.
rules
Oh,
on
we'll just
here.
leave it to the
Okay.
sound.
Yeah, we're gonna do the verses, and we're gonna kick it off with Jeff because
Awesome.
when we started filming, or before we started filming, me and Jeff have verses like right next to each other.
Yes.
So we are verse buddies.
Yes, exactly. It's bringing us
You guys
closer
were verse
together.
buddies a few episodes
No, that was
ago.
me and
remember?
Eric. That was me and Eric.
Oh, yeah, you guys were Bible buddies.
Yeah, I told Eric to never say that to me
Never
again.
say that again. Yeah, that was funny.
Just be careful how we say that.
Yeah.
Bible buddies.
All right, verse buddy, you go first.
Okay. So I've got Romans 12:10. It says, "Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other." For this season, I don't know so much us anymore as you get older.
Yeah.
To a degree, getting so excited about getting things. You know, it's more about honoring people. Obviously, the whole season is about Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
Obviously.
not be silly. I mean, but we tend to make it about ourselves. You know,
Yeah.
whatever. Or parents getting, as a parent, I guess I'm talking to a few of us here.
Yeah.
Don't know if you guys are
Man,
parents
I'm
yet.
the only
All right,
one.
keep it on the down low for right now. Get so wrapped up in the gifts and trying to get stuff for your kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I know I stress out about that sort of thing, but honoring each other and just genuine affection, just being nice to people because,
sure.
like Eric talked about this morning, being an ugly sweater. This time of year, it's so easy
Oh yeah.
to get ugly about anything. The traffic, which gets worse. The people who get worse. You're standing in line, which I don't do the shopping in stores.
Yeah.
I don't think I could handle it. I would snap, and you'd see me on the news. And of course, that might make for an interesting podcast later. I don't know.
Interviewing
Hey, we're going to zoom into prison today and talk to Jeff.
That's right.
out of here. I want my GI Joes.
That's right. Doggone it. Worst Christmas ever. Anyway, when it's so easy to be ugly,
Oh yeah.
to show that affection, to show that love, and to honor each other. You know, to not make it about ourselves, which we tend to do, and it's easy to do, but to make it about others, you know, which is exactly what Christ did, was made about others. The fact that he left heaven, let's get all spiritual here now. The fact that he left heaven, you know, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's, you know, some pretty cushy stuff up there.
Uh-huh.
To be here with us,
It's like leaving your house to see a movie.
I'm not going to touch that one, but
Yeah, my bad.
but you know, following his example, you know, as honoring others. You know, he came for others. He came for us, and that sacrifice he made for us. So remember that. Tie that into the with Eric this morning and being the ugly sweater and all that stuff. Not to be that person this time of year when it's so easy. We get so wrapped up in all that stuff and all the hoopla that goes with Christmas.
Absolutely. No, it's good. And mine kind of ties into that because it's just like 2 verses later. But mine's Romans 12:15, so 5 verses later. It says, and 16, "Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn, live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited." So that's just a really good reminder because I know that obviously the holidays for a lot of people are super exciting. It's a great time to get together with family, super happy. But for a lot of people, it's really hard for them. And it might be because of like a death in the family, especially with COVID. There's a lot of people that are going to be struggling really, really bad with the holidays, missing a loved one or something like that. And also just thinking on people who financially right now aren't able to have the ideal Christmas to some people. But I just thought that verse was important to bring up just to keep in mind that during this season, there's a lot of people that are going to be struggling, especially this year, I'd say. And to just keep that in mind, it also says, do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. That's another good reminder. Don't be afraid. Don't be too proud of yourself to associate yourself with someone who's struggling. It's just someone who is just not having a great year. So I just think that's important because obviously, kind of like what you said, we get kind of caught up in the holidays. We start thinking about ourselves. We start thinking about all the standard Christmas things like traffic and stuff. We get angry sometimes. But really, if you take a look at it, Christmas is just a big reflection on God's gift to us.
Right.
And that's why we
Exactly.
get gifts, because it's just us reflecting the gift that he gave us. So that's just a big part of it, to just make sure that you're watching out for people that are struggling, and to just not make it about yourself. So.
Yeah, well, I had, and it kind of goes with what you guys are talking about, Galatians 4, and I'm going to read 4 through 6 here. And before this, it talks, which I've noticed as I've been reading a lot lately, that Jesus and Paul's writings and other people, they talk so much about how we're born slaves to the world, and how really, like, there was no hope for us, you know. And this is what he's talking about above this. And it says in verse 4, but when the right time came, God sent his son into the world. A woman gave birth to him, and he came under the control of the laws given to Moses. God sent him to pay for the freedom of those who were controlled by these laws so that we would be adopted as his children. Because you are God's children, God has sent the Spirit of his Son into us to call out Abba, Father. So you are no longer slaves, but God's children. Since you are God's children, God has also made you heirs. Just thinking about the holiday season and why did Jesus come, and, God's infinite plan for us. He came and humbled himself, and there's so many cool things about him being born in Bethlehem, like what that represented, like going back to David and how he was born in a manger, and represents how he's a king to us all. He's a king for everybody. And he didn't come for just one group of people. He came for everybody. Right. But this whole idea of how, without God, we had no hope. We have no hope to get to him because of our sinful nature. And because of his sacrifice and how he came to this world, it's just a great reminder that he says we're adopted as his children. So as a child of God, I have rights, and I have privileges to certain things. And the most important thing to me is I'm thinking of is his grace, his mercy, his love, the salvation that he gives us. And I think it's just so important to remember that as we're living and breathing around other people, that I treat people with the same kind of respect, the way that God treated me, that I have to understand that he didn't just do that for me. He did it for everybody. Yeah. Even the people that I don't like or disagree with, or even the people that especially the people we feel that, deserves God's judgment, which is something I struggle with a lot. Yeah. It's like, get them, God, they deserve it. And it's like, he did the same thing for them as he did for me. So exactly. I think it's just a good reminder this time of year is Christ came to the world for us so that he could redeem us. And that's, to me, that's just a great thing to remember this holiday season, this idea of hope, that he gives it to us. So.
Right.
Absolutely. That's a good one. Logie Bear.
Man. We talked about that, man. Come on. I had Philippians 2:4. Mine's very, very similar with Jeff's over here. I've tied it back into the sermon today from Eric, but it says...
Good job, Eric, on the sermon, by the way.
Yeah,
nice.
Shout out to
That was
Eric.
killer.
That was really good. You don't find much passion like Eric does on stage. So, let each of you not only to... Sorry, let me restart that.
Nice try.
Like Eric said,
let's read it backwards.
Everyone look at the light. Let each of you look not only on his interests, but also to the interests of others. And that's straight up just thinking about selfishness. It's actually crazy to think how selfish we can be, to the point where even the fact that we sin and live in a sinful world, that the way we cope with our sin is selfish. We think of like, oh, I did this sin, I affected my family with that, or I did this sin, I really like impacted my relationships or anything like that. And that in itself is selfish, because we need to have godly grieving. We need to be thinking to ourselves like, man, that sin furthered my relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so easy to be selfish on even the fact that we're sinning, just as a kind of a point to prove. So I loved that verse because just imagine a world where we all focus on each other, on other people, you know what I mean? Rather than inwardly. And Eric talked a lot about not being an ugly sweater or not having to, like Jeff mentioned, the traffic's going to get worse. You're going to have to deal with people. And, of course, everyone's already, flustered and frustrated with COVID. It's so easy to be inwardly focused, and it's so easy to just let that eat away at you without you even knowing it. Yeah. So I think that verse really brings that to light, to expose it. And it's even with people, missing other people and missing, family members with all this COVID stuff, that again can be a selfish thing. And sometimes I don't really believe in, just coincidences. I think everything is really set up the way God's timeline should be.
Right.
Yeah.
So I really think that, like, I sit and think all the time of, like, man, what is COVID? What is he trying to tell us? You know what I mean? Is this just like, is this God's way of saying, like, all right, everyone go to your rooms? You know what I mean? I think it's kind of cool to think of it that way, as like, you've found your, think of like Colossians 3, like you've set your mind on worldly things, like go to your room and think about what you've done. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's a good way to think of COVID for me, and especially having had the virus and actually doing the quarantine process, having to leave my friends and relationships and stuff at school was really hard on me. So selfishness is hard, and that's definitely something I'll be praying for to mature in, definitely over this time. So
Absolutely. That was good.
Speaking of relationships, you want to do a shout out there, Logan?
It's Corey's birthday. Today actually is Corey's birthday.
It is Corey's birthday.
Yeah,
Shout
wow.
out.
Whew, Ron saved me.
But if you didn't want to give a shout out.
No, hi, Melina.
Hi, Melina.
Oh,
Hi, Melina.
We got so close to the end.
Gross.
Yeah. But shout out to
Gag me with a
Melina.
spoon.
I wasn't going to leave her out. I thought of it.
Shout out to Melina. Shout out Corey. My guy turned 33 today. No, he's
33?
No, 25.
I was going to say, he aged
Yeah.
Benjamin Button reversal.
Hey,
That's what
Melina
he's
listens to
saying
the
today.
podcast, so she's a follower.
Shout out to
Melina.
Leave a comment. We'll send you a sticker. We're out of stickers, aren't we?
No.
Yeah. Also,
They're
a fun
there's our
fact.
logo.
You can have mine.
Oh, snap.
Wow.
This is the last episode Jeff's going to be on. Fun fact that I'll say before we leave. Spotify does this thing called Spotify Wrapped. And where at the end of the year, they take your like listening habits or whatever, and they give you like a list of like what you listen to the most. And I got texts from 3 different people, I think. And Moral Dilemma was their number 1 listened to podcast, which was super cool.
That's awesome.
So shout out to Sticky, my friend Sticky. Shout out to Daniel. And, who's the other one? Shout out to Kevin, my friend Kevin. So that was awesome.
Wow.
We're going to try to do something special for you guys. And if we were also on your Wrapped playlist, send it to us too. So
I actually, at Cedarville, when we got this whole thing started, I had one of my friends, I literally ran into them and when they were running around the track through these big dividers when people play basketball inside the track. But I walked out, ran into somebody, and you're like, oh, hey. And then they're like, I'm actually listening to your podcast. I was like, no way. That's so cool.
yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for watching and
Listening.
keeping up with us. We've got 27 episodes. I had no idea that we would go this long. It's been so much fun. I've always wanted to do a podcast ever since I got popular.
The holiday season, gift the gift of Moral Dilemma to your friends.
Also,
Absolutely.
shout out to my management professor. I told you I'd shout you out when I got back on the show.
Shout out Dr.
You're looking for an A now, or is that
Dr. Wonders. I didn't get an A in his class, so.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Man.
Thanks, Professor.
Also, shout out to Regal. I don't think you listened, but I failed your finance class, but the next year I took it, and I learned a lot. So I just wanted to let you know. So shout out to Dr. Regal. But anyway, let's wrap that up. Thank you, Jeff, and Dan, and Jeff, and Logan for being the guests.
My genuine pleasure.
Yes.
Awesome.
It was a good time. Thanks, Adam, for filming. You killed it. And Merry Christmas, everyone. See you in the Christmas special.
Merry Christmas.
Peace.
Peace.